Okay, so hi guys. Today we'll be talking about the solar system. So right now, as you can see, there is the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. This you might be wondering about. It's actually not a planet. It's a belt of asteroids, normally called the main asteroid belt. This is Jupiter, Saturn. By the way, Saturn looks bigger because of the rings. Uranus, Neptune, and an asteroid belt that you might not have heard of. It's called the Kuiper belt. And there is a big cloud of gas and dust that orbits the sun, which does not fit on this board. It's the Oort cloud.
Ask a question.
What?
I've heard of Pluto as a planet. Is that not a planet?
It's technically a planet. It's just that it's downgraded from planet to dwarf planet because it doesn't fulfill the 3 rules. Rule number one of being a planet, you have to be around and stay around for all the ages to come. Pluto is round and will stay around. Number 2 is that Pluto orbits the sun. You have to orbit the sun to be a planet, yes. But number 3 is that you have to have a clear path while orbiting the sun. That Pluto does not have, because it crashes into millions of asteroids on its path. It's actually a Kuiper body. It's actually a body of the Kuiper belt. So, how the solar system formed is that there was this colossal cloud of gas and dust that, over time, gravity helping, the particles, the grains of dust, came together to form these clumps, technically, of matter, and then started to heat up the bigger they got. One of the particles, which is now our sun, got so big and so hot that nuclear fusion reactions started to happen in its core. A nuclear fusion reaction is when something has so much heat that it can fuse atoms into other atoms. And that generates an enormous amount of energy. So it threw off its outer layers and left a shining star, which is today our sun. Then everything, planets, asteroids, comets, dwarf planets, including Pluto, came into orbit around the sun. Now, actually, there are more dwarf planets than Pluto. One is the biggest body in the asteroid belt, which is Ceres. The next is a body in the Kuiper belt, just like Pluto, except it's farther from the sun than Pluto. It's named Eris. And both Pluto, Eris, all 3 dwarf planets do not have enough mass also to be a planet. The most massive one, which is Pluto, actually has about 50 or so grams less mass than Mercury. So Pluto just missed the mass limit.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Very helpful. I also heard about the Big Bang Theory. Can you tell us what is that?
Okay. So the Big Bang Theory is when the universe, it's a theory when It's a theory that says that the universe is formed from a single tiny point called a singularity, and for some reason that point exploded and created a place where it was like so hot that there wasn't really any atoms yet. There was just particles floating around. So that is how the universe came to be. And here's one more fact. The universe is always expanding and the galaxies are always flying apart from each other. So that does prove that it all started from somewhere. So you can technically say that explosion is still going on.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's going to happen to our sun?
In the end, our sun is going to balloon in size and be about the size of Earth, meaning it's going to definitely engulf Mercury and Venus. Earth, it's either going to engulf Earth or Earth is going to change its orbit to, I think, here so that it will not get engulfed. And then it's going to slowly throw off its outer layers and form a planetary nebula. And in the middle of that planetary nebula is going to be the core of the sun, the remains of the sun, which is, after cooling, a white dwarf. Now, that white dwarf can go one of two ways. If the star is the mass of our sun to 10 times the mass of our sun, within that range, then the protons and electrons will likely get squashed into neutrons and it will become something called a neutron star. Then, if the star is more than 10 times the mass of our sun, the white dwarf will never stop collapsing in on itself and form a black hole. By the way, stars that are more than 10 times the mass of our sun do not die forming planetary nebulas. Rather, they die through supernovas, which are these huge explosions that basically end the life of the star. Bye!